Hello, in this lecture, we will discuss about passing array of structure to a function. Let's get started. When we discuss about passing structure to a function, we have to consider the following four cases. The first case is what if we have to pass a single member of a structure to a function? The second case is what if we have to pass a particular instance of a structure to a function. The third case may be what if we pass the pointer to a structure to a function. The fourth case is what if we pass an array of structure to a function. So in this lecture, we will discuss these four cases of passing structure through different means to a function with an examples. So the first case is what if we have to pass a particular member of a structure to a function. So let us understand the structure members can individually be passed to a function like a common variable, like any other variable like integer, float, character arrays. So in this method, we cannot afford to pass individual members to a function by writing codes for each and every members. If you assume you have 100 number of members, we cannot afford to pass 100 members by sending to a function, okay, individually. So let us consider an example called employee structure in which the members are name, ID, and salary. Let's see what happens if you have to pass a particular member to a function. So this is the way you have to call your function display m.name. M is the structure instance name and you are passing three arguments separately. So at times you may pass only one member or two member or all the members at a time. So this is the called function. So this is otherwise we can call it as a function definition, which receives those arguments which were sent through the actual function arguments. So these are the formal function arguments which are going to catch the actual arguments sent through the function call. So inside the function, you can just display the member values. So this is how you can pass the individual members of the structure to a function. So this is a complete program where we have the structure declaration outside the main function by mentioning the data type of the individual members, namely name, ID, salary. So respectively, the data types are char, int, and float. So outside the main function, we have also written the display function. So this is the function definition. So display function receives three arguments. So the data type respectively as per your structure members data types, character array, int, and float. So this is not the particular rule that the order in which the structure members has been defined in the same order you have to pass the members to a function. No. So this will be decided by the developer who developed this application. So coming to the main function, we have made the instance of the struct type employee. So here where the this is called the declaration of the structure type variable. So E1 is the declaration of the structure type variable employee. So we had already mentioned to the compiler what you mean by employee. So employee all the way means one character array, then followed by one integer and one float. So when you declare this structure type variable called E1, you want your compiler to make the same footprint of one character array, one integer, and one float in the memory. So once it has been created, so through this kind of statement, just like any other variable, you are going to receive in the values, and you are going to save those values into those memory locations created by this declaration E1. So you are going to say E1.name, E1.id, E1.salary. So E1 is the sophisticated memory location for the particular employee instance. You may also create comma E2, comma E3. Then if you want to get the value for employee 2, you have to say E2.name, E2.id, E2.salary, and so on. If you wanted to create multiple or n number of instances of the structure type employee, we may have to use array of structures that we will see later. So just we have called the display function by passing the arguments. So the same arguments will be received by the function and they will be printed. This is what shown here. I have this scanf statement receives three values: name of the employee, ID of the employee, let's say 1000, salary of the employee, let's say 5000. Then I have just printed name, ID, salary. So this printing is due to this function is in play. So hope you are able to follow this. So this is what passing individual members of the structures to a function. So you may pass one member or two member or all the members at a time. So what if you have to pass the entire structure to a function? So is there any other way I can say I wanted to pass the entire structure instance to a function, not the individual, not by mentioning all the members one by one. Okay. So you have to say, let's see with an example, you have to say the instance name, okay, when you are calling the function. So inside the function, the formal parameters will look like this, something like this: struct employee. So here it must be space E, okay. So E will be the uh, formal argument. So inside the function, you are supposed to use the formal argument, which is E. So let's see with an example. So this is little bit, we have modified the previous example. So employee structure definition is same, function uh, definition is same, main function is same, instance also same. Look at here, I am going to pass the entire instance of the structure instance of type employee, which is called E1. Okay, E1. So this will be very convenient than mention each and every member of the uh, structure instance. So inside the function, this E1 will be caught in the formal variable emp. So inside the function, you're supposed to use the formal variables. So emp.name, emp id, emp salary. So this is how I'm able to print my name, my ID, and my salary. Due to this printf statement, we are able to see this output. So these three are given at the time you are prompted to enter the input. Due to this scanf statement is in play. So I hope you are able to follow this. So this is what passing the whole structure instance to a function in a single go. Okay, will be very easier. So what if you have to pass or man over the uh, structure instances through a pointer? Pointers are nothing but address of a memory locations. So pointer to a structure is also very much feasible, since structure is also a user defined data type, that is nothing but a piece of memory in your uh, memory of your computer. So in this case, the structure variable can be passed as an actual argument to a function. Yes, similar like the previous example, but here little bit you have to know this syntax. So since you are passing the address of the structure instance, you have to prefix ampersand. Okay. So in the function definition, in the formal argument, you have to mention pointer type variable argument. So how to dereference the values through this pointer, I mean the address of the structure is, you have to dereference using this arrow operator. Okay. So inside the function, you are supposed to use the formal argument, which is E, which is type pointer to structure. So you are dereferencing what was passed to through this function call. You are dereferencing through the address, okay, by this arrow operator, and you are taking the members of the structure instance. Let's see with an example. So this is 99% similar like the previous example. Let me point out only the changes that I have made. So here I had made the ampersand symbol. I had prefixed the ampersand symbol. Okay, whenever I'm going to pass the structure instance, I'm not going to pass by value, I'm going to pass by the address. So here in the function definition, in the formal argument, I'm going to receive those pointer to structure through a pointer variable. So how I'm going to dereference the values? I'm going to use the arrow operators. Arrow operators, for the arrow operator, the operands must be the pointer variable. So it will make you to look at the individual members, okay, by mentioning the name of the member. So what is the name of the member? NAME, ID, salary. So these are the name of the members. So due to this statement, I'm able to pull out those values which was set in the variable name E1 at the time of scanf. Okay. So hope you are able to follow this. Let's move on to that passing array of structure to a function. So what if you have to uh, pass several instances of the same type, same structure type? So then the only possible solution is array of structures. So first we will look at what is array of structure. Then we will come to this focus on how to pass this array of structure to a function. So let us try to understand what is array of structure. So before we are going to move on what is array of structure, think about this. If you have to make instances of, let's say, st1, st2, student 1, student 2. So can you afford to write 100 students like this, comma st3, comma st, comma st99, comma st100? A developer may not afford to write the size, the amount of students you are going to deal with. So as it may change in future. So if you want to make a maintainable code, so this is not the best way of writing the code. So what is the solution is array of structures, right? So as you rightly guessed, the solution will come through the array of structures. Hope you had already studied this arrays concept. So similar like we can have array of integers, array of floats, array of characters, we can also have array of structure instances. So this is the my own struct or my own structure which I named as student. So I am representing the memory footprint like this: one name, one the two of type character array, one integer type roll number, one float type for percentage of marks. I'm going to call it as student. So this student is my own structure. So structure is nothing but user defined data type. So I had defined my own data type called student, and I wanted to make the instances of this particular data type of 100 numbers. Okay, in C, as you had guessed, the indices are going to start from 0. So 0 to 99 members I wanted to make. So this is how in the memory, the values, I mean the memory will get allotted, something like this shown in this diagram. This is what the array of structure concept. So how to declare this array of structures? So you will be provided with two different methods. First method is inside the definition of the structure itself, you can mention before the semicolon, just get closes. You can say st square bracket 100. This is one way of declaring you want the 100 instances of the type student through array of structures. Okay, so this is like st0, st1, st2, st3, st99. Okay, so st100 encompasses 100 array indices. Okay, so this is how you can articulate you want 100 such instances. So this is how the declaration will be interpreted by the compiler. So coming to other way of writing this, same thing, struct name of the user defined data type followed by the array of structures. Okay, so this is also will be handy and readable to most of the developers and readers. So now let us look into our fourth way of dealing with structures and functions. So what if you have to pass the array of structure to a function? So this is the prototype. So I'm going to just mention the name of the array. I'm not going to have any symbol of square brackets here, as the compiler already knows about this. Imp is a array of structure. So in the receiving function, in the called function, in the formal arguments, I'm going to have the arrays type of the struct, my own data type employee, which is of type struct. So inside the function, I supposed to use the formal variables. So this is how I'm going to access the members by mentioning the indices of the array. So since you had passed the entire array of structure, inside the display function, I'm going to navigate through the indices, and I'm going to get printed all the instances of the structures. So let's look at a simple program where I have m array of structure. So as you had guessed, the size is 2, indices 0 and indices 1. So since I had declared m array of size 1, so it includes 0, 1. Okay, so let's start with this. So scanf, I'm going to scanf the members of the first array instance, which is emp0. So by mentioning the member names, I'm going to get in the values by mentioning the another instance emp1. I'm going to get in the values by mentioning the member names. So let's come to this passing array of structure to a function. So simply I had mentioned emp. So it means I had passed emp0 and emp1 instance. So here you had received, you would have received emp0 and emp1. So how to uh, how to interpret emp0 and emp1? You are supposed to use the formal arguments name, which is empl. EMPL0, EMPL1 will be the instances passed through emp0 and emp1 respectively. So when you say printf, so the two structure instances members will be printed. So let's say for the first structure instance member, a particular name, ID, and salary. For the second structure instance, these are the values. Name is Raj, then ID and salary. So through this two printf statement, I'm going to print the two employees. So this can be a for loop also if you have n number of instances. Uh, so this is just a demo program I had written for two structure instances. If it is more, you supposed to use for loops. So this is how passing the array of structure to a function. So today we had discussed about how you can maneuver the structure and function. How can you pass individual member of a structure to a function? How can you pass the um, whole structure to a function? How can you pass the address of a structure instance to a function? And you can maneuver through the arrow operator. How you can pass array of structure to a function. Um, so example programs also uploaded for your study purpose. Thank you.